So, can everybody see me in the video? You guys see the differences? So obviously I'm pretty warm compared to my background, right? So in the event that I actually move it up and I take me out of the picture, see how everything kind of adjusts?
It's hot over there.
Well, not necessarily, because it was just cold.
Yeah.
So the other, right. So it's going to take whatever's in the screen and find the hot and cold spots, and it's going to fluctuate. What we're actually looking for on this guy is going to be darker blue areas that are going to look almost black, that are going to be in relevance to things that are close to us. Those are either orbs or any kind of apparitions. The cool thing also about that is it's going to capture a white line around it because it's going to recognize it as a solid object. So you'll see throughout the video when you watch it tomorrow, whoever our cameraman is got to be very diligent and slow, that we're looking for those white lines because that's going to show an orb actually moving intelligently through our group, or a cold spot slowly moving through. Does that make sense to everybody? All right, so you guys, because you seem very techy and well worthy of it, keep in mind your camera's here, so keep your fingers away. Okay. This battery pack on the back is merely keeping your camera charged, so that way it doesn't die on you. It's only meant to last an hour. This is obviously a 90-minute tour. Do you see the red square on there? Mm-hmm. That needs to stay a square. That means it's recording. If it turns back to a circle, just simply hit it again, and it'll start. You guys will have 2 videos at that point. I'll upload both of them. Fair enough?
Even if the time isn't moving?
Even if the time isn't moving, it's good to go. It's a good question. All right. EMF detector. You guys should all know what these are, right?
Yep.
Yes? Nobody? Does anybody not know what this guy is? All right, so we have to keep in mind this is real life and this is not a TV show. So the Earth actually gives off an EMF detection. Okay, so right now we're at a green, and that's from the Earth. Obviously, it just also tells us that it's on. So this will detect anything of man-made objects, including cell phones, wiring, electrical equipment, anything of that nature. Anything that gives off an electrical current is going to be an electromagnetic field, but it can also give us the spiritual world. Things that are man-made are going to give us a pulse. Yes, you have a question?
I would love to try that on my back.
On your back?
I have wires. I want to see if it works.
Go ahead. Show everybody.
Okay, right here. And then go down.
It's not showing anything.
Isn't it really?
Nope. Absolutely
it must
nothing.
have died. I have 6 wires in my back in an accident and then a battery.
Okay.
So I have electrodes that generally.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that's why I was like, does it work?
So, those type of man-made objects would actually give us a rhythm. So it's going to be a pulse, okay? Anything that's from the spiritual world is going to be a little erratic. It's going to be nuts. It's going to go absolutely crazy, and it's not going to show any kind of rhythm whatsoever. So, I'm actually going to hand this off to you, because I'm going to need you to speak up whenever that thing goes off. That's our first indication that anything is actually happening around us. Are you going to be able to speak up?
Yeah.
Are you up to the challenge? Yeah. Let's do this.
Shania's got her back. No, if she screams, well, you can see her fall. You're like, well, there's something right there.
All right, responsible adult, you're next.
I think that's gonna be me.
Jesus.
Take away the story there.
This is the neuralizer for Men in Black. Y'all are gonna have your memories erased. None of you are gonna remember a damn thing after this night is over.
Yay! You're like, how was the tour, guys?
Don't remember. Watch the evidence. All right, it's actually a good pen. So, it is a laser, and it does shoot pretty far. I'm actually going to shoot that building back there. Can everybody see the green dots on the building? It does go very, very far. So, super cool thing about this, I want you to shoot this on video, make sure it actually shows up, so that way we can, I'm going to do a quick demonstration of what we're actually looking for. So it will create those white lines around when I blow a plume of smoke right through it. So. So your ghosts, however, are not going to stay inside of the green for very long. It's going to be quick. Everybody kind of see the top of my hand? Mm-hmm. That's what it's going to look like for you. So, we also use a secondary. This is also relatively new. The cool thing about this one is it's a grid. So we can use them in conjunction with one another. And the cool thing about the grid is if we actually capture anything that flies through like this, and we have it on video or somebody's quick enough with their phone, we can actually take that 3D image and I can put it into 3D software, and we can have a full wraparound of what we actually caught. Okay? Something you probably haven't seen on negotiations yet.
Yeah.
So this device is actually made by Ghost Stop. It's actually a company in Florida, and they actually made that S-Box that you guys have. So that's their creation as well. So I'm testing out some new things for them. Hopefully they respond to me later. So, responsible adult, you're going to be appropriate. Oh yeah, don't shoot yourself.
Well, the responsible adult should just buy it
I know, right? We lost an eye already. Awesome. Wow. Okay, I think I got this. I'm trying to figure, because I got more.
Laser.
All right, more lasers. Everybody should know what these are by now, right?
Yeah.
Thermometers.
Yep.
However, there's a problem with these kind of thermometers. It only gauges what it actually touches. So let's say I have a ghost on the wall, and we capture something with the thermal imaging camera and say, that wall, there's something right in front of that wall. We have a blue spot. Can we get a temperature from it? And the wall is the exact same temperature. We now know it's the wall. However, if the wall is a different temperature, we now know that that cold spot is in front of the wall. So then we have this guy. What this guy will do, this is a psychrometer. It's actually measured, it's meant to measure humidity. At the bottom of it, through the probe at the top, please excuse the electrical tape. Somebody broke the tip last night. And I have a new one on the way. I already ordered a new one. But the bottom number actually gives us the ambient temperature through the probe at the top. So I actually left the top open, so that way we can actually get air through it. And it will actually measure an air curtain within an inch. So if you put this in front of like a square space heater, you can literally put it in and out and watch the temperature go up and down. It's super cool. This is the kind of debunking material we need from the thermal camera. I don't make things up. I want to make sure what we're capturing is true evidence. So, you like lasers, yes? She's like, yeah, you're my debunker. All right. I know, you're like, man, has he got ladders in there?
The Mary Poppins box.
All right, one more spirit box. This is a digital spirit box, so it does not record anything. However, we get a lot of activity out of this, and those of you that, this is going to be you, Angela. So, you seem like a talker, I need your voice. So, again, this one, we definitely need you to speak up.
Okay.
If you hear something, it's going to be kind of the same material.
Charleston 98 Rock with
That's
hard
one
drive
station.
XL.
Many stations.
Now, should we be close to her or away from her so we don't pick up the same thing?
Well, technically, the spirit boxes should be kind of separated.
Okay.
So that way, when I'm recording audio, we're not getting 3 spirit boxes, because I
Right.
use one on my phone as well.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you guys those here in just a second. So if you want to team up with somebody else to make sure kind of verified, you can, I'm sorry, name Shania. If you want to kind of team up with her, because she's a debunker, she won't have a ton of activity. She's going to help with the temperatures for the thermal. That way she can kind of bounce around a little bit.
So when I hear like a,
When you hear anything,
okay,
now, when
what
you
do
want
I
to
say
hear
to you?
just scream it out to all of us so we
Okay.
can all hear it. Now, if you, right? When you want to hear stories, turn the speaker on. There's a center button. Okay, so when you turn that back on, it's still sweeping. Fair
Okay.
enough? And it's as loud as it goes.
Okay.
All right.
Oh no.
All right, so cool stuff with my phone. So the evidence pieces you're going to get so far, obviously, are going to be the recording from this S-Box, the thermal imaging camera. I'm going to record the whole thing for you once I turn it on. And I use 2 different spirit boxes on my phone, which you're probably going, why would you use digital spirit boxes? So first one I use actually gives us a list of words in the center.
Is that the, I know which one.
That's
I use
Ghost
it.
Detector.
Yeah, I use it on my phone.
So this is the upgraded version. It has 9,000 words in it, so that way I don't mistake mouse for house. This is last night's list. They had a list of 77 words.
Wow.
Now, 80% of this is crap. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It doesn't mean anything. I will try to relate to where we are, but I'm gonna doesn't really mean anything. So I'm gonna clear out last night's list so we can start fresh for you guys. And this is gonna run all night long. The other spirit box that I use is awesome. And what's so great about it is that you will hear the full audio on this because it doesn't record anything for us, but it plays everything backwards. And what I mean by backwards is it takes those FM radio stations and it literally flips it. So anything that actually comes through forward, we were meant to hear. Super cool, right? So I'm going to kind of go around the room again so we can kind of gist of what I'm listening for. Sounds like complete gibberish. But you can actually hear on the audio me talking to it and getting answers. That's what's so cool about it. So all I need to do, because this guy is, I turn the volume down, and that way I'm telling my stories, blah, 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 and I have this guy running the entire time. So let me turn on the audio, and we will get started with where we are and why we're here, why we started in this particular spot, because where you're standing is haunted. So this used to be Big John's. Actually, sorry, let me turn the audio on. Today's the 2nd, yes?
Yes.
How am I supposed to use this?
Again, once we get to the first location, I'm going to go through a quick teach and train with everybody, so individually. July 2nd, 9 p.m. You're going to help us debunk things and kind of give us a base read of all the temperatures around us with the laser. Now again, those of you with lasers, no windows, cars, we will walk on East Bay Street for a little while. Obviously those are kind of pocket items so we don't get arrested. Those kind of things. Yeah. We want to keep Nick out of jail. That'd be a great thing. So, Big John's, that's where we're standing. Thermal imaging, again, so you know, does not see through windows. It is a solid surface. It will look at it as a solid surface. Okay. Just so you guys know, we can't record inside because there's nothing there. But anyway, it's named after a previous football player. Don't know what team he played for, but he used to sit in the back of the bar. This was back in the 1970s. We have the Citadel nearby. The cadets would come over for a drink afterwards. And Big John would let the bartender know if they were of age. He would cut them off if they weren't, or say they're good to go. 2 guys come in, Big John cuts them off, gives them the nod to the bartender, the 2 guys get ticked off and they leave. The next night they come back, they steal the cash register from the front of the bar, and Big John pulls out his .45 and kills one. The bullet hole is still in the front of the building. On the inside, the previous owner from Kane Rumbar that just left town during COVID never filled it in. He just put a panel over it. So it's still there. Anybody that sits in the front of the bar gets that dizziness and queasiness that I was telling you all about earlier. And I usually tell this story on purpose as a reminder that if anybody, please speak up. You can't have somebody drop and all of a sudden I turn around and I only have 7 people behind me. So, not that your family members would allow that to happen. At least I would hope not. I got the word over. I will interrupt my stories anytime I get a word, just to kind of give you guys a gist. Also, for those of you that already took the history tours, we had a big earthquake in 1886. You guys heard that? Yes? This is where the first death occurred. So the mantle that's above your head actually wraps around to the front. A piece of that cracked off, struck somebody in the head. And Paul from Kane Rumbar used to see his ghost right here on East Bay Street. I've never personally caught anything, but I believe Paul, because he used to talk to Big John and ask questions, and Big John would apparently rattle the beer bottles and do that kind of thing for him after the bar closed. So, it is haunted. Hopefully one day I'll buy it and turn it into a Stories in a Cemetery ghost shop and rent out the upstairs with the equipment you guys are using.
There you go.
So that would be the goal. There's one other spot I have my eye on too, and you guys will see that tonight later on. So let's go ghost hunting. Let's go this way. Everybody ready?
So, question, it is recording, right? That's recording?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as it's a square.
And if I see anything, should I let y'all know?
Yes.
Okay.
We should try and run away. I will tell you
I will probably
whatever. Like, it's really, because I upload those to YouTube, so that way I can watch them on my TV and on obviously a bigger screen. So you may miss things. You're probably going to miss whatever I catch in the morning, and that's okay. Oh my God.
So how many people have actually screamed during this tour? I feel like I will be that one.
I've had a couple. But again, this is not a scary tour. It's more about the scientific method.
Okay.
All right. So, Crew Cafe, the big white building right there, is haunted. They've asked me to do a full investigation. That was long before COVID. Hopefully I can still do it by this summer. I did get an EMF reading upstairs. I can probably debunk it with some wiring in the walls, but I need to do a full investigation to make sure. The reason why I bring that up is because the tools that we're using tonight, she just asked me, Jess, right?
Yes.
Jess asked me what happens if she sees something. Should she tell us? Absolutely. I want to debunk it or verify it with another gadget. Even though the words I'm getting on this guy, I need to make sure what's happening with your gadgets kind of coincide with that. Does that make sense? So, that used to be a slave home. Obviously expanded because it has 2 floors, and slave homes did not have addresses. So it's really hard for me to find what's actually haunting the place because the history just isn't there. So
It was a what?
it was a slave home.
Oh.
So, a little bit of Charleston history right there at the stop sign at the end of the street. Revolutionary War. Keep in mind we are 1 block away from the water, but the water used to be much closer. So a ship rolls in, shoots a cannon, and lands right at that stop sign. So just a little bit of Charleston history. You guys will get little nuggets like that from me all night long. So, this parking lot, guys, is completely haunted. This is where they keep the horses for the carriage rides. So those of you with lasers, I'm going to ask you to keep them away from the windows. There are horses in there, you will spook them. If you do not want to do that, I am friends with this company. I don't want to stay that way. So your EMF will probably go crazy. Sometimes you start here. Sometimes the lasers go on all the way out because I don't have any other activity. You're kind of like, no, wait, I want to chat. I'm ready. That's kind of where it's good. The spirit boxes, ask questions. Stay away from yes or no type of questions. I may even ask a question away from you, and the answer comes out on your spirit box, or vice versa. It happens all the time. So when I say stay away from yes or no questions, you can ask, who is here? Tell me your name. Give them time to answer. It's that simple. We may even get the answer on the thermal imaging camera and hear it later. If that makes sense. We never know what gadget. This is obviously an array of gadgets, and they're all electronic type pieces. There's no Ouija boards or compasses, and there's kind of manual gadgets here. So they're going to try to use what we have, and I'm already getting several words. I already got the word present and steer. So steer would be also helpful to the horses. Kind of relevant there. So this is also the same barn that they kept the horses that delivered milk to Charleston. To kind of give you the age. So we're talking 1840s, 1850s. So that kind of gives you an age of where we are. There's no electrical lines underneath us. There's nothing that's going to make your gadgets go off man-made. But this is a good area for us to test, listen very intently, and watch. As far as the camera goes, nice slow sweeps. The pixelation on that is not super great, so you have to go slow so it stays caught up with us. We're not getting blurry pictures. Thermal, like your thermometers, you need to be pretty much shooting everything, kind of getting the face temperature, make sure everything's intact. If you find a colder area, that's when we need to check things out. Your grid stuff, this is a great place for that too. You want to start straight down, move your way out. So let's get everybody moving. Just turn up your spirit boxes.
So I
and give
just
it
hold this button down right here.
Yep, just like this little trigger. Establishment is the word that I got. Okay, hold on. When you get you're up in the ring. So grid pen people should be somewhat nearby, and a spirit box to maybe try to connect. Like that's pretty early into the parking lot. So. And with those are meant to be set up in a room, and you walk away from it with a camera recording everything. So the more skilled you are, the better. So at this point, you can start asking questions like, what color do you want to wear? Anyway, so how do you like that? Is that nervous?
Oh, it's gone crazy.
Got it. Nice little sweeps.
Who's here with me?
actually here? Give me a number. Pick a gadget. Tell somebody how many you're actually. Say please. Can you please? How many of you are here? 9. Okay. I'm having a full conversation over here. So what I'm gathering, I asked how many people are here.
It said look up and then a bird went by.
Well, I had the word star earlier too. So I think right now I have folks coming over from Big John's. So I asked how many people were here. They said 9. Then I got the word beer that showed up. Got the word skip. Not sure that could be a name. Did not get winter. I've been asking how many people and who is here. And then I got the word beer. So I was like, okay, maybe they're coming from Big John's. And then it was kind of like, what did I gotta say please. Very distinctive. That was like, okay, I'll say please. Please tell us how many people are here. And that's when I got the 9. So you guys will all hear that on your audio. And I tend to repeat things. So if they say something, you can always go back like for 5 or 10 seconds and check it out. And make sure like what I said is verified. I'll do the exact same thing. This was actually pretty active. That's why the yeses and nos can be kind of mixed in with a lot of different like weird sounds that we hear. That's why I say try to stay away from those. So I'm looking for very distinctive things. If somebody says my name, which I heard a piece of it, like Nick, like I'm like, okay, yes, Nick is here, because I mean you gotta imagine I do this 6 nights a week. So, so again, they know me. But I got a lot of things about the building, and it said like previous built, those kind of things. So I'm gonna kind of like have to dive in and see it, look at it as a whole. I'm getting the word no. What did you ask?
Yes, they're hot.
Hot. Okay. You guys asked anything specific?
They just heard outside.
Hearing all talk here. Okay. So this can also be a great communicator too. So when this thing's going red and it just seems like it's staying there, you can actually ask whoever's there to back away from it to make it go to green. To kind of prove that it's actually paranormal activity. So I do that quite often too, especially when I'm not getting much here. I go to the simpler devices and just back away. If you can't drop enough energy to actually give us a word or talk to us, then just give us an action. That works too. That thing's going, almost see a pattern to it, but not really, because it's going to go to red here. Again, there's nothing around. Like it literally has to be on top of this guy in order for it to make it go off. So an EMF on the ground, like the electrical lines I was talking about, the crosswalk, like it's going to give off that strong of a signal. That's where it has to be before that sensitive guy is going to know where things are. Sync. I got no syncs. Well, we also have to remember, I talked about a football player. No Saint. So is he telling us he did not play for the Saints? He could be. I mean, he could be reaching, but at the same token, I'm looking at, I've never had anything from over there come over here and talk to us. So the word beer is very specific to a bar. That's what's making me think we actually have somebody over here from Big John. So I was like, trying to say John, say football, say sport, say John. What's funny is when, like, that that one's on and I'm like 5 feet, 6 feet away from you, I can't even hear that at all. Because this is like right in my face. Progress. So, are we making progress? Are you from Big John's? You know, I'm asking 2 yes questions. John, are you with us? John, give us another word that tells me that it's you.
Definitely something.
Can you tell us about sports? You guys getting anything on that video?
Not yet.
What's kind of nice about those grids too is they don't really show up too heavily on the thermal imaging. They just kind of show up as like little white dots and they're easy to determine what's what. It doesn't give it help properly. I actually had a customer like send me a text and say, "What was that tight blurry thing that walked out? That was the grid down." Alright, does everybody kind of have a gist of how all these gadgets work? Honestly, we actually practice some useful stuff. I'm hoping we get some on the audio and that video that we're getting. We kind of have the word coming through and then we'll move on to the next spot.
So can I use this to get like a big picture?
Yes. So when that light goes out, you know to just turn it off and turn it back on again. Okay, I figured you would figure that out. I got the letter M, which really doesn't have any relation to anything that I think of besides my last name. I'm thinking of Big John. I don't remember what his last name was. You're here.
Where is here?
Inside. You're inside Big John's. So that all makes sense. John, I gotta move this group on. Can you say goodbye? Can you say goodnight? Usually wait until I get something to make sure we're kind of closing it out when it's finished acting. Alright. Alright guys, let's go to the next spot after learn from Charles and get some stuff. Yes, another parking lot. This one is very, very significant to Charleston. So, welcome to the Eliza and Charles Pinckney Mansion site. Obviously now it's a parking lot. But this is where Charles Coatsworth grew up, and his cousin Charles, yes, I just mentioned 3 Charles. The son and the cousin were signers of our Constitution. They lived here. Very cool, right? However, I don't care about politics. So we're going to talk about Eliza, the mom. Eliza married married Charles to stay here in the States. She's from England. I'm going to give you a bunch of clues to be listening for and to be watching for on a thermal imaging camera. England, Britain, those kind of things, that's a clue. So, she's from England. Her daddy wanted her home because he was sick, thought he was dying. She married Charles to stay here. However, daddy got better. They made amends. Eliza was a botanist, meaning she raised plants. So he started sending over plants from England. Where you're standing is where the first indigo plants that saved Charleston were planted. Nobody talks about this lot. Nobody comes to hunting here but us. And it's an amazing place. So it is super active. You can ask all kinds of questions. So not only was Eliza the first person who planted indigo for us, indigo is the plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. Sorry, we have kids in the area and I didn't know if they knew that or not. So, if you have blue jeans, they're made from indigo. Sorry, did I call you a kid? Did that offend you? My daughter gets offended. Very much so. Yes, and that's my youngest. Dad, I'm not a kid anymore. So anyway, she was also the businesswoman that sold indigo overseas, which is what saved us when the rice plantations went to crap for us. So Eliza, in a sense, saved Charleston. She's a hero. And that's Eliza Lucas Pinckney. She was the second wife of Charles, named Eliza. Back to back. So,
You had it tight.
right, apparently, with a name. Right? So, that's why it was kind of funny when we were talking about April's name, because, I mean, I've been married, me and April have been married for 4 years, but we also got married 2 days after my divorce. And my first wife. So, her name was not April. I did not do the twofer. But anyway, this is a very interesting spot. Your spirit boxes are super active. Your EMF can go crazy in here. Almost every time I mention Eliza's name, that thing will go to red. You start talking to Eliza directly, she will give you direct answers. You can ask how many kids she had. What were the kids' names? Tell me about the infant you had with them. You know, she had a pretty lengthy life. She's not buried here. I won't tell you where. Let's see if you can find it for yourself. She didn't die here. She died at a pretty ripe old age for that time period. We're talking colonial period. So 1750 to, I think she passed away in 1820, roughly. So she lived a pretty good life for that time period. But plants are a big thing here, so if we get anything related to plants, ask what her favorite plant is, what color is her favorite plant. If there's anybody else here with her, sometimes she'll bring husband. She'll tell me that. But a lot of times when I turn my spirit box on, I get almost an immediate hi Nick or hello Nick, or my name comes up in some way, shape, or form.
You guys are met?
We are. My wife is jealous. Also, I'm going to point out the light that's flickering on the back of the Black Church restaurant. So the EMF that you have there, Lola, if you actually hold it up like you're about to take a selfie, it will actually go in sync with your EMF. Now look at the light. Kind of put both of them in view. And within 2 frames of a camera, it is in sync with the same pulse. It kind of tells us what kind of energy. I would tell you that that's pretty light for us. It normally flickers pretty good on a good night, and other nights it just stays on, which means it's going to be dead. This light's only been dead for me twice, where I've never had any activity. Or you can ask about the house, what room are you standing in? So the layout of the house was, this was the house up front, garden lined up with the dumpster. The trailer was where the slave homes were. I will ask you to stay away from the trailer. You've been having trouble with homeless sleeping over there. One night we didn't know it until somebody put the thermal camera there. So look at that hot spot. There was a person sleeping. So just kind of stay away from the trailers. They don't must. So let's explore. Tell me what you guys
What happened to the house?
Fire.
Fire.
Bee fire?
What's that?
Bee fire?
One fire. One of our many.
Yes, exactly.
So I honestly can't remember where time
think of the site where your house used to be in there?
Both grids to one person, just to kind of see how this is going to go. Again, every night for me is different. I kind of experiment with different theories. So, I don't think she's going to give you a chance with that camera, bro. I'm sorry.
She's good to go.
I tried to give it to him, he didn't want it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't walk here.
Okay. So, with this, I'll kind of go through like some of the questions I go through. You know, I've already asked her who's with you. I got husband, and then I got a Thomas. It was very broken, but I did hear it.
Who's Thomas?
Thomas is one of her kids.
Oh.
Garden. So there's one word already that tells me we're in relation. Last night I actually had to work with
David made something?
No, David came through last night. That's weird.
Ah.
And I just got the word garden, just so everybody knows.
So is David in the garden?
I don't know who David was. David, last week, somebody asked me if I'd never actually done anything with a straight home store before, but I did a little quick EDP with that, and I got who lives here, and then the answer came back as Cook. So it could either be the Cook for the home, or the last name of Cook. So I couldn't find any records, so I'm guessing. So Eliza, I see the word garden. Can you tell me which way to go? Where was your garden? Which way do I need to go? All right, Eliza, let's try something different. How many of us are actually here tonight? Can you give me a number? Keep counting. I heard 1, 2. Keep going. That's 7. I'm reaching it. Give me a number. Eliza, how many of us are here tonight? Give me a number. How's your EMF?
It's a lot over there. That's something down.
That's what came up on the box. I hear it audibly. Eliza, I need a number. How many of us are here? Ball. Stairs. Am I standing where the stairs would have been? Aurora. I don't think that's Aurora. Alright, you wanted to talk about your garden. What was your favorite plant? Just like I explained with the other beer boxes, it's almost a long explanation. You know, if somebody wants to come through and start talking about like murder, death, kill, dagger, stab, like they want to talk. But when I get a word, like that's why I have so many different things running right now, so that way I can kind of piece things together and look at it collectively and see what actually is here. And imagine if when I'm doing my own investigations, it's one area. I'm there for 3-4 hours. I don't care if it's daytime or nighttime. Nighttime doesn't mean anything to me. It's just for the ambiance for you guys to do this. But I do this and I have all of this stuff running for one place. So it's me, my wife, and my kid, my youngest, that go. And we all have at least 2 gadgets in our hand and have the rest of like the ambient temperatures and all that other stuff. So adoption. Nope. Did lose one as an infant. And I brought that up last night. I got sad and like it was almost like she didn't want to talk about it at all. So I just didn't. No. Not yet. So I did get some interesting things. We got garden. how long the stair or the option is going to take. Like those don't really mean anything, but the garden is obvious. Just trying to get her to tell us how many people were here.
Just what we asked to. We asked what color was the room that we wanted.
Okay. I've even asked like the colors her favorite plant because it's not indigo. She told us straight out before I got jasmine when I wasn't going, so that's like a bluish purple. But she told us blue. Okay.
I heard a distinct downward.
Downward? Because I did get the word stairs.
I was standing by the stairs when she said it.
So the interesting thing about that is there's another story later on that deals with a woman who fell downstairs. And she doesn't usually show up until the very end of the tour, and we don't even go by her place. I just tell it because I've been getting so much activity from her that it's kind of like, I have to tell it because we're close, we just don't go by it because it's in a residential area. So it just happens to pop up from time to time. How's her EMF? Did anybody feel like you watching it?
Yeah, it goes red over in there. It goes really red.
It goes red a lot. Got a little bit of lower temperature. Temperature's down to like 78.
So sometimes when we're like along the wall in the corners, it's going to get a little cooler because you get little wind pockets.
Yeah.
So,
But when I put it on the wall right here, it's about 88.
okay. So what about the ground right
If
here?
I put it down here,
So what's our
looking at
ambient
the camera?
temperature now?
Does fever mean anything?
Yeah, she does.
85.
Okay, 78 on here. Bottom. So I want to say she died of pneumonia. Which would be the fever. I could be mistaken. I don't want to give you wrong information. Fever would have been a common term for one of the symptoms. Okay, again, sometimes how's my energy tonight? And if it's a little weak, but I'm getting like she's getting a lower temperature here. Hey Jess, can you kind of like just give us a sweep of the ground over here? Like in between the cars. Now keep in mind the cars are going to give a much higher because they were on a little while ago, so they're going to push heat down, and it's going to look very red and then very blue where I'm standing. It's steady though.
Oh yeah, but it has to be.
Yeah. So we're getting that from something else. I'm guessing a wire nearby. We are pretty close to the street, but when you come over here, you do seem to get that quick spray of red.
Yeah. It doesn't really seem to be consistent.
I think I have something. This circle right here.
Yeah.
A little over to the right.
What do we got?
I think I have this with a
There's
circle
definitely a radic over here.
right here.
Okay.
Is it at like the curve? No, it's like, oh, it could
Is it-
just be that bottle.
Try it now.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Again, we like to debunk first. I think we actually have a clear fit here. There's a lot of places to go. So I can always mix things up if we kind of gather too much evidence in one place and kind of shorten the amount of places we go. The next place we go, we're going to be walking along East Bay Street. So lasers, obviously in pockets. It's about 4 blocks away. If you guys want to listen to the spirit boxes, great. Obviously keep videoing for us, Jess and Bryan.
Can I keep this on or?
Yeah, you can if you want. So again, we're going to be walking a good 3 to 4 blocks for our next location. So, yeah, just so you don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, just so you kind of give us. I mean, it's not really going to do much for us. So, all right, let's go see what we find next. Go down the steps. So we kind of watch the steps.
We'll jump in front. Don't you worry. I'm gonna not let you get killed by a fever. Watch this.
candy started.
Look, factory.
Where y'all from?
I live in Charlotte, but we're from Maryland.
Okay.
You?
I live here.
This is our first time here, actually.
I hope you love it. Like we went and saw him. It's an amazing place. There's always a ton to do. My best friend. Let's see. Her eldest and my youngest were 5, and they're both now 19.
Oh, wow.
And that's her daughter and her best friend, but she lives in Tennessee.
Okay.
This is her yearly trip to see me. I picked the hottest person.
But we met in Tucson.
Yeah, we've just traveled across the
Oh,
country.
so you guys went all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you go to Charlotte? From Maryland. What took you to Charlotte from Maryland?
School for him.
Okay.
Yeah, we're high school sweethearts.
Awesome.
Been together 12 years, married for
I was
5.
thinking 11.
Oh, yeah.
We just had our 15th anniversary, but we've been together a lot longer. So fun. Friday night.
I love all the food places out here.
They're amazing. They're amazing. My cotton normally has like a string quartet or something like that. Always a cello, usually a horn, something fun in the bar. Snob is amazing.
Which
Got
one?
slightly. Yep, awesome.
Oh, so I don't like a broad snob.
And they've got if you got somebody with food allergies, they got a great gluten-free menu. They're one of, as far as I know, I've got a family member that's got gluten allergies, so we have to find.
Sky looks really nice, doesn't it?
Down an alley. Ooh.
Cool little cobblestone alley.
And then it was like 93 degrees, humid, and she goes, then I got ice cold. She goes, it was the weirdest thing ever, but it was the most exciting thing.
I was just telling her that I actually have a trip planned to Gettysburg for a full investigation at the end, middle of August. So much looking forward to that. So guys, you're standing in Lodge Alley, one of the oldest streets in Charleston. This used to be one of our streets. Believe it or not, this is where the horse and buggies would come right down. And again, the water was much closer. I used to tell like one of my psychic stories here, but I've been doing a lot of research on this location just because I wanted to add something else more Charleston for it. People used to live here. So I've been waiting for names to pop up on EVPs, things to show up on the camera, those kind of things. I've been getting weird senses from the I always wondered why I had such weird terms that came through on my spirit box when I was here telling my whatever story. But I just kind of like to hang out here for a few minutes, kind of give you guys the gist. I have the full list of who used to live here. So if we get a name that comes up, a very simple name, like James, Elizabeth, you know, those kind of things. So very simple. The people that used to live here were of the lower class. So they actually did an archaeological dig in between the clay bricks. They found things like silverware, some tools, or things like household items, and that's how they were able to determine this is where kind of the lower class lived. Last night we actually got the word unemployment likely. So it was almost like a phrase that said we were all unemployed here. This is why we lived kind of in the slums. So right next to us, just so you know, is Lodge Alley Inn. It is also haunted. It has its own apparitions. Every hotel in downtown Charleston will tell you its own ghost stories. But this one actually has full apparitions that they claim to have in certain rooms. So I haven't done a full investigation to tell you which rooms those are. But again, when there's no Charleston history or something, I can't look up to verify it. I usually try to stay away from it. That's just my own motif. So I do get excited about stuff like this next time, maybe part of the tour, because you don't get to see some powerful streets while you're here. So it is gorgeous down here. And there are restaurants, obviously, along the side. So it's a big deal. So guys, we're actually going to go up to the end of the alley, and then once we reach the end, it's residential. So tour guides in Charleston cannot be tour guides in residential areas. So we are 9 friends ghost hunting together. We're going to make a right to get out of there. Just kind of cut through the neighborhoods, take you into the houses that are up there. Who's got the spirit box with the light? It would probably be really handy because it gets very dark up there. And also turn on mine so that way we can all see. So, all right, let's see if we actually get any EVPs that came out of here. Yes. If you could take notes on all this, because everybody has a story.
That's a tight street.
Eliza is Monic's still mad at me.
Someone's library active. These are apartment doors. Oh yeah, they are. That's actually kind of cool. They have that big front door.
We leave in the morning.
Okay.
And we got here.
Last night.
Okay.
Just a quick day trip, get away from work and life.
That's perfect. Yeah, we just went to the keys for that. After all this nonsense, it's like just recharge.
What romantic share blast from the Ouija board. We were, yeah, so we had a really good time. So that's my idea of a romantic getaway. Oh, so your camera, just so you know. We're about to pass an area where somebody actually came out of their apartment and started screaming at me a few nights ago because I was filming them, apparently. So kind of keep the camera on the DL. But there is a very cool place at the end of this block on the right-hand side. It's called Bocce's. It was so... Interesting. Not yet. Maybe later. Might be when I get home and there's cake there. So, but Bocce's was sold in 2015 to the city because it's so haunted. The restaurant said, no, I'm done. Things used to move around in there. Mirrors fall off the walls, but they don't break. The doors don't stay shut. It's completely empty now. That's my other place where I'd like to buy as a shop downstairs and haunted hotel upstairs. So when I come across 2.4 million, I'll let you guys all in. So that's gonna go. So, yeah. Right. So yes, try to film it if you can, but don't make it look like you're filming a camera. Fair enough?
Gotcha.
All right. Let's take a hike.
Wow, I'm taking a really good selfie.
One time at my dad's, Amir fell off.
Was it just a really bad hair day?
Maybe. It was, no, because I like a little jolt. We Lola, when we played our own phonograph, Max.
What?
We played our own gramophone. 3 days ago. Max started looking up at the ceiling, never looks up at the ceiling, and he started like staring at the fellow. See, you play those records, it's like demons.
Yeah, you ran down the sidewalk. You ran down the sidewalk.
I know. He wasn't just like, just one
I can tell you right now, like this was already so much better than the last one I took.
Really?
Oh yeah. These first ones, yes. This alley, I think is supposed to break down there was.
We gotta do a hottest tour thing in Charlotte.
I think they have been.
Getting anything?
Nope. Just a group right now. Just a group.
Like said garage.
Oh.
What?
That's
The parking lot? What? Got some stuff on?
I almost dropped it.
I heard garage.
You better be loud. You got the word garage on
Garage.
I did get the word unclear, and as we passed the building I was telling you all about, I got the word suspicious. So he was suspicious that I was doing something illegal.
You okay there, Shania?
Alright.
You okay
This
there?
is actually a very, I don't normally come to all the common spots, but there's too many stories here. It's 6. Which is crazy because it had the word shoot earlier. So I'm wondering if it's talking about 6-shooter because that alley back there that we just passed, we're going to go back to it, was Dueler's Alley. So the cool thing about that is, I mean, especially if you've heard the story of the whistling doctor, we now have gadgets to kind of capture the whistle and or the gunshots. So that's one of the reasons why I go back and tell that story. So you can 6 and shoot and while still relatively small stories. What you guys probably didn't know is that gate back there, that hole in the wall, that's where the loser would come to go straight to his grave. I call it the death gate. That's my coin term, not anybody else's. But again, the loser of the duel would go straight to his grave, which is super awesome. So the stories that actually happen here, there's a couple. So we're standing at the church. It's the tallest steeple we have here in Charleston. Actually, let me stop for a second. Powder Magazine, right across the street there, not haunted. Most people claim that it's haunted by a pirate. We're playing false. I've done my investigations in there. I've taken all my gadgets and gizmos. I haven't season pass. But the cool thing about that place is it's a groin vaulted building. What that means is it has 8 pillars that make up the building on the outside and 1 in the center, and they all meet in the center. And the walls are 36 inches. Crazy. The top of it is filled with sand from 1712 to keep the explosion, if something were to occur to that, inside. Yeah, it's a powder magazine, so gunpowder was served there. It did serve in 11 different wars, not full wars, but came in and out just as a hiding place for different places, for different wars in different sides of the country. So it has served quite a bit. If you're into like war outfits and artillery, by all means go visit. It's super cheap to walk in. And I think I've read every book in this. Alright, so back to where we are. Nobody's gonna go up there, so let's go up. Alright, so by all means, we are by a cemetery, so feel free to use your grid inside the cemetery. Just try not to hit the building in the back in case somebody's actually back there. So guys, we are standing in front of a sign that says there's no ghost inside St. Philip's besides the Holy Ghost. So the story, I know, right? So the story goes, there's a reason why the sign's there. Back in 1888, a woman died 10 days after her stillborn child. Her name was Susan Howard Hardy. Now, 1988, we have photographers coming into town, and one of them was taking pictures of cemeteries, and he caught a picture of a full apparition of a woman with a shawl with a baby basket next to her. I would show you this picture, however, it is cursed, and I'm not cursing my tour. As you can imagine, I'm very superstitious. The light is a motion sensor, so just so you guys know, it's not anything we did.
Sorry.
No, you're good. But now you can kind of get a full view of the, what side are we on? So that would be the eastern side. The western side actually has John Calhoun in it. But this one, that's the Susan Howard Hardy story. If you guys want to look that picture up on your own, it just said a woman that holds the picture will not feel well. A woman that is pregnant that holds the picture will not have a good pregnancy. So I am not cursing my own tours. So, but this is a really big hotspot. Yeah, pictures are always good too, so if you capture anything, please let us know. Guys, we are also very close to the Dock Street Theater. I won't go into the full story there, other than there is a ghost there that is actually seen from the knees up. The reason for that is because of the history of Dock Street Theater. It was a theater, then a hotel, then a theater again. Bless you. Sorry. You're good. Just wasn't expecting that from you. It's such a high-pitched sneeze. So it was from Nettie Dickerson. She's the ghost that's there from the knees up. So when we turned it back into a theater that we know now, we raised the first floor ceiling. So she actually walks on the floor that she knows, if that makes sense. So we raised the first floor, she's walking on the second floor that she knows. So she's only seen from the knees up. We didn't know that when the ghost was seen initially. The person who saw the apparition was just confused. Like, why is this person so short, or why can't I see the bottom of this woman's dress? It's because she's walking on a lower floor. Very cool. So there's a big story on Nettie. I'll actually put the link of the full story.
Yeah, I was going to say, can you put the...
Yeah, absolutely, because I did a full blog on that.
Okay,
what you got?
This one just keeps fluctuating back from solid blue to solid gray.
So the wrought iron buyers are probably throwing it off.
Okay.
Because it's iron, so it's going to hold a 10-degree difference of what we actually have outside. Okay. Where did you catch that?
I was going to stick my arm in.
You want to stand up to me? I will post it to you guys together. That's pretty awesome. You caught it work. Like taking some pictures.
Right through this front gate.
You got something moving around. What's the grid?
I got it.
Let's just try the green one. For now. Keep it. Oh, there's nobody in the church, obviously.
Who's here?
Maybe rest it on the bar so we're not getting that shakiness. I can do the same thing. There you go.
Quite a few, so I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Who's here?
The temperatures get weird in here, but by all means, get one of the door, maybe of the pillars.
Well, surely before you go to pictures, I thought this thing distinctively said this is Joe.
Joe?
Yeah.
No Joe in all these stories. I have a genius. I haven't gotten a word since we got here. So, very interesting. But I love the pictures. That's pretty awesome. Every once in a while I get somebody that likes to take pictures.
Yeah, you keep taking pictures of me.
Alright, looks like we have another group that's kind of shady. So I don't like to stop my competitors because they already don't like me.
Toys.
It does say Joe. What's weird about it is that's the name of the ghost that used to haunt me.
Right, and it happens. So one night I actually had a vet, and let's walk. So I had a vet with me, and he had a friend of his pass away overseas. And all of the driver come up. How many did you have?
Quite a few.
So what I'll do with those also does obviously photography, so she's gonna look
I
into
don't know
it.
what that is.
I don't either. That's a great picture. That one's really cool. It's pretty clear. Okay, go back. I think that's just from the flash.
I don't know. I didn't really pay much attention to that one.
What kind of phone is this?
This is an Apple phone 11.
Okay. That's important because my wife works with cell phones at Best Buy, so she needs all the
It's an
features.
11.
And she's photography. So I'll put it in one picture.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's cool. There's no ghosty ghost. Like it used to be on a poster in your house.
How are you guys doing on your camera?
Good.
Okay. You caption stuff. You just don't know it.
Okay. A little bit. So I started asking questions.
Hey, so who died?
Those willow tree figurines, like the little girls with no faces.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He was really fascinated with naming them. So I sat down and I actually started asking questions and videotaped it and sent it to a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And they were moving. It was crazy. And then I kind of started to follow me.
So things that will get attached to, it's not necessarily attached to a place, it's attached to a person or thing or an object, like you just said. So those kind of things are actually, I hear about them all the time, but I've never actually had somebody besides that vet that actually told me that everything was coming through was through him. So if that Joe was talking to you directly, I would continue listening, see what he's got to say. All right, who in this? All right, it's a little muggy tonight, guys. I'm sweating. You guys are giving me a workout. Girls, what do you think? Is this what you thought it was going to be? No? Are you not having fun?
She thought she was going to be super scared.
Yeah. No, this is not a scary story. This is science. Honestly, the best part of this story is tomorrow morning when you guys get the evidence. When you have to go through stuff and watch it and you realize how much work these people actually, guys like me, go through to find evidence and try to make proof of things. All right, so some of you have already heard this story. What did you capture now?
But look, yeah.
Philly, or
But look at that one. Isn't that cool?
yes, that's nuts. So,
That's so
I'm gonna need.
cool.
Let me see the
So the Bocce's restaurant, my daughter's actually caught things there too, but never that clear. So we've had just like quick shadows come through or a little glimpse of something.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, so guys, this is every other ghost tour is kind of like big finale, so I'm gonna kind of do a quick summary. Oh, you're good. Come on in. We'll make way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good luck, guys. Good luck.
We are having all right. So some of you already heard this story of the whistling doctor. I'm going to give you the quick gist again, the big 3 to 4 minute scenario. So the whistling doctor is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. He moved down here from New Jersey. We've got another group coming through. Come on through, guys. Sorry. Oh, you're good. Okay. So the doctor is going to marry his fiancee Amanda. So case we get an Amanda that comes through on a spirit box. However, Amanda's parents just passed away. She inherited a bunch of money from her parents that were dead. And the lawyer said, no, you're not going to get married yet. I need you, the doctor, to go finish your studies and start your practice somewhere else. So what's he do? He comes here to Charleston. The coachman, sorry, my glasses are really fogging up. I'm just going to take them. So the coachman sets him up to be robbed and killed, drops him off, and somebody walking by named Ralph Isaacs said, nope, you can't stay here. This isn't a very good place to stay. So he takes him over to 59 Church Street, 1.4 miles from where you're standing right now. Beautiful home. I've actually got an activity there, but he rents the rooms upstairs. Ralph and him become friends. However, the doctor's moving up in society because he's now a doctor. Obviously, he makes a lot of money, and Charleston's about money. So he's known as the Whistling Doctor. He's a happy guy. So, however, the two actually used to go plays together, but they had to sit in different areas of the theater because they were in different parts of society. So they used to talk about the plays on the way home. So one night they're talking about Richard III, a new actress was in town. The doctor loved her, Ralph did not. Turns into an argument and an insult party on the doctor's fiance back home. So the two get mad at each other, they go their separate ways. Ralph writes something in the Charleston paper about what a disgrace the doctor is to Charleston, because he's just taking their money, he's not from here. It was a big thing back then. So the doctor rebuttals with, let's finish it in Dollar's Alley. So they come down here, they go back to back, take the 20 paces, turn, the doctor shoots his gun in the air. He doesn't want to kill his friend, he just wants to make a point. However, Ralph Isaacs takes 2 shots below the knees, the doctor drops. His friends pick him up, they carry them 1.4 miles away instead of going through the death gate, back home, where the doctor dies 10 days later. So, it is said, as you walk through here, mind you, we're 1 block away from East Bay Street, that very busy street where you all couldn't hear your spirit boxes. This is the most peaceful place in Charleston, I promise you. I come here day, night, even if I just want to, like, I walk the dog down here, just because it's so peaceful. It's gorgeous. You're going to hear whistles, hopefully. I've caught 1 whistle here in the year that I've been doing this. That was actually somewhat questionable, where I was like, I don't know what that is. Or you can hear the gunshots. So this is really cool. If you've already heard that story, now we have gadgets to kind of capture some stuff. The other interesting thing, and I won't say cool because it's not a cool fact, but it is a interesting fact about Charleston, is the bricks you're walking on are going to get older as we move along. There are fingerprints and handprints of the slave children that had to sun-dry the bricks at the very end. I will show you the full handprint, however, that is a residential area. Y'all remember the rules? I can't be a tour guide.
Buddies.
What's that?
Ghost hunting.
Yes,
Buddies.
we are buddies ghost hunting. Good job. So I will point it out to the person behind me, and you guys can all continue to point it out. If somebody wants to take a picture, please be quick about it. That is somebody's home. So we're going to be respectful, and we're going to make a left outside the alley. So when we're walking through here, you can listen to spirit boxes, but everybody else, listen intently. We're going to have the audio to listen to it later, but if you're listening to this audio in your car, crank it up. See if you can hear those whistles. That's not a bird chirping nearby. Okay? All right, let's do this.
You get the charm. For you, for the charm. Here, find a place, and like as you're signing the paperwork, they tell you the story of you. Like, I gotta walk into my house in the middle of the night.
right there.
Oh, wow.
Gotta be quick, Mom.
What's the top number on your psychrometer? I'm just curious, because my glasses keep fogging up. Like real bad, when I can't even see. Makes sense. Are your glasses fogging up too? Yeah, you got a little bit of haze going on right there. I just wanted to let that couple pass. I'll be in the spotlight one last time. Okay, so I got one last building for us to take a look at.
Is that ours?
I'd be really surprised if anybody's actually heard this story. Do you guys know of the Wagner building? Wow, story you guys don't know. Cool. I'm going to make this one up completely. So you guys
Okay.
So the Wagner building was actually part of our cotton industry. The back of it was the warehouse, obviously, and then the front of it would have been the offices for the cotton industry. So the last person who owned it as a cotton building was George Pereira. He inherited from his dad. He had no idea what he was doing. He got himself into a bunch of debt. He was a very depressed guy. He was a silver spoon kid. He knew nothing about business. We also had the boll weevil in town. It's a bug that eats cotton. So he was really up the creek about getting rid of all these bales. So he goes behind the American government and he sells it to the British. So we are one block away again from where the wharf would have been. Pineapple Park was not there. So the ships roll up. Well, the ship rolled up. They unload from the back here, take the horses filled with the cotton, and load up the ship. George is watching from the second floor of the front of the building. Somebody gets too close to the cotton with a pipe, the whole ship goes up in flames and kills everybody. George is so depressed, he's watching the whole thing, his dad's legacy, down in flames. He piles up all the furniture, swings a noose, and he hangs himself. It was the newspaper kid the next morning who used to sell his papers on the corner that caught him. It was also said that a broken window was there in the second story, and a crow got to George before they could get him down. So, we get the words fire, we get cotton, trade, ship. Here's the other unique thing. I told you guys about the lady who fell down the stairs. Her restaurant is one block that way. That is called Coogan's Porch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so if you guys go there, use the app, put it in the center of your table, they understand.
Oh, yeah.
Zoe can be found in the ladies' room. The dog will pull at kids' pant legs. That's kind of the gist that goes on there. Coogan was the neighborhood dog. Now, last night, we actually had the word dog come up twice in the Red Barn area. When something comes up twice, it's emphasized to me. Like, I'm like, why did it show up twice? Coogan was a neighborhood dog. He just kind of wandered. He didn't live there. He just got fed there. So that's kind of how the story goes. But the person who owned it and died there, her name was Zoe. Her name was spelled without the Y. I've had Z-O-E come through at least twice on 2 different tours. I've heard the word stairs. She fell downstairs. That's how she died. Coogan's Porch is one of the top 20 haunted locations in South Carolina, I think it is. It's super haunted. So, give an example. But this is a hit or miss kind of location. And I've also been testing temperature at the very front, so your infrared is going to be super important when we get up to the very front. We're going to test one more time. So, you guys have been a great team. We've actually caught quite a bit. I will tell you guys if it's been a weak tour. This has actually been above the medium area for me. I've had other tours where I'm like, oh my god, will it just stop? Like, I'm getting a headache. I need to move on. This is above medium. This is the way my tour should go. So hopefully all of this extra collection of data. Do you still have SD on your right there? I can't see without my glasses.
Yes.
Good, we're still recording. We've been having issues with the new S-Box not wanting to record. I don't know if it's spiritual activity or if it's the user. So it's still recording. So we'll see what happens when I actually import it. So So we're going to cross legally twice. We're going to go that way and then that way and walk right alongside of the building. Spirit box is up. By all means, ask as many questions as you can. You have enough clues to look for fire, ship, Zoe, those kind of things.
Is Pooh in here?
April, I thought for sure you were going to come up with like whole sentences tonight.
What happened here?
Sorry, your grids are irrelevant on this particular spot. Your EMF, irrelevant because we're on Main Street with the crosswalks.
Yeah.
Where's your infrared thermometer? I'll let you shoot up to the very top. See where that layer keep going all the way up. What temperature do you have right there? Let's be going all the way up. What do you have at the very top?
Where is he pointing? 56.
Okay, so what do you have down here? We've been testing to see if this has actually been wind from the water. Last night somebody actually tested the building down, like the very top of that, and there was still a 15-degree difference between this building and that building. So it kind of gives you a gist of like the activity that's actually happening here. I don't know why one of my customers one night was like, let me shoot the very, very tip of the building and see what happens. He just kind of raised some thought. Like,
What is going on?
just keep in mind, I'm looking for temperature change with the windows. I'm not going to be able to see full operations of what's inside. So, Bryan, there's that. That's my card, so you guys can kind of check out my stuff. And again, I'll text you in the morning with my regular cell phone, since it seems to Google is having some issues. Light. What are you looking at? Very top?
That things.
No idea. Trying to get it.
I already took another picture.
Where's it at?
Deleted it because there's nothing
I
in
just
it.
got Hey Nick. I don't know if you guys heard that.
I deleted it because there's nothing in it.
Try taking another picture.
That's where your proof is.
Oh, so I'll just take another one.
Take another one. And you guys my card. Sorry, I'm on the slow line.
Is this your dog?
It is.
That's cute.
Actually, I wrote a book about him. And yes, I put him in a paranormal story.
What about this?
I did get a hang of it. Like it was very clear. She's capturing like some craziness above it. Like, I really gotta have my wife in see what's happening. So,
Now my dog did that. This dogs look up when they feel like
when there's
We
a
have
treat
an
in
old,
my
we
hand,
have an
something
old,
hits.
no, we have an old gramophone, and we were playing Jeepers Creepers on a 78, and he just kept staring at it.
Yeah, so you send me 2 of those. I'll do my white
I'll send you the
collection. Backdrop of my open house. And that's literally photo studio.
Yeah, he was saying.
That's my
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, when it's like 3 friends with me, you know,
big pause.
That's my little one too.
Oh, jeez.
They're boxers, litter mates.
Nice.
She sits on the other one.
Mainly as a wire pair. So I have that dapple, and then I have this little old lady. Like, it just cracks me up. She's a completely different personality.
Oh yes, night and day.
Yeah, night and day.
And everyone looks at a little one and they're like, oh.
But Byron, actually, in the book, gives his owner the ability to just, yeah, that's what that book is about. So, I was getting actually a lot of voices. I was trying to take it at the same time. Lamp. Next. It was very clear, next. You guys getting anything on your spirit boxes or cameras?
And isn't there something across the street at the hotel? At the hotel across the street?
I'm trying to like pay attention to everybody's, trying to make sure things are coinciding with one another. I heard mare, so nightmare.
No, honestly, we don't have any
Team.
tonight.
Yep. Well, I have an emotional support myself. That's what Byron
He's a
is.
working dog.
Okay. Yeah.
He's a seeker dog, and that's my dad.
It's like you put the vest on and then I do a transition always for him when he's working. So he's on point every time.
So is he. My dog does, so sorry.
Alright guys, I'm gonna call it. I think we've got quite a bit tonight. I can't wait to hear.
Do you have any left?
I'm gonna text you from my regular phone instead of the Google Voice number. So let me get those.
And I can text all these pictures.
Yes. No problem. Glad. Any feedback for me, guys? And what do you got? Did you love it? Did you hate it?
Loved it.
Wonderful.
I
Yeah,
expect
this is
honesty
great.
only.
Oh, it was great.
It's okay to like. I've had groups say it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Sorry. And I was kind of like, okay, I won't expect a review. Please don't leave one. Thank you for
I get
that.
to decide whether or not.
All right, I'm going to hit stop on your video. Looks like you guys got about an hour and 17